Hello and welcome to Geek on My Sleeve. I'm Peter, and today I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free book review on Ascend Online by Luke Chmilenko. It is narrated by Luke Daniels, comes in at 17 hours 56 minutes with a page length of 644. Before we dive into this, please leave a comment. Let us know your thoughts about how the review went, if you picked up the book. As always, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And everything that's talked about will be in the links in the description below. Going to the Goodreads, diving into a revolutionary new video game. Marcus and his friends escape a stagnant society, entering into a new world that defies their wildest imaginations. But from the moment that he logs in, Marcus finds himself separated from his friends and thrown into a remote village under attack by a horde of goblins. Forced into battle, Marcus rallies the beleaguered villagers and, with their help, manages to drive off the invading creatures. With the village in ruins and their supplies spoiled, the survivors desperately turn to Marcus for his help in rebuilding the village. Realizing that this game is nothing like he has ever played before, Marcus is swept up into a whirlwind of adventure as he struggles to defend his new home, quickly finding that marauding goblins are the least of his problems. Okay, so now into the review portion of this. This book is amazing and speaks to my soul on such a level. What I mean by that is I'm a big MMO RPG fan, and I've played a lot of them, but as I've gotten older and, work and life and everything else gets in my way, I haven't had the time to play. So being able to kind of live vicariously through Marcus and his friends, it's amazing. And the author does such an amazing job. It really makes you feel like you're part of the group because the banter back and forth, there is a little bit of vulgar language, so that might turn a couple people off. But for me, it really cements it because, when you're just hanging out with your buddies online and you're playing a new game or whatever, that banter is part of it. So I really enjoyed the camaraderie and kind of their new, or not new, but it's a different spin on the lit RPG for me, because majority of the lit RPGs I've listened to or animes in the same vein have kind of like a trapped inside the game vibe where they take a different approach. It's only a little bit in the future. 2047 is the setting or where it takes place, and they essentially write it off as nanobots, and they do a good job with their dive or their full immersion. So Ascend Online is in my top 5 for lit RPG genre. But if you like action adventure, MMOs, epic battle scenes, and great progression, there's a little bit of stats flavoring. It's not over the top though. There are a couple lit RPGs where they're always doing like a big dump of, hey, this is the whole character sheet, all the stats and everything. But this one sprinkles it in for relevant events. So like when you hit a certain threshold, okay, it'll give you stats, but it'll be just on that snippet of what is relevant at the time. And it really doesn't bog you down on it. They took a lot of creative freedoms as far as the MMO goes that I would really like to come to fruition or come to be. The author's writing style was amazing. They do so many things at once, and just the way that they integrate everything together or the way it all ties together is great. It also is why it makes it such a good reread for me. And I've listened to it or read it a couple times now. But the way the scaling, the world building, the character development, and just so many storylines all coming together, it's amazing. I try not to spoil too much here, but for example, if there's an NPC who has a backstory that relates to the main capital, which is part of, their main upbringing or progression, and it just like it all ties together so beautifully. So author's writing style was really a big thing for me, and there's a lot of combat. So combat's done well. The whole story and the combat follows Marcus, our main character, but it also does well involving other people. If that makes any sense. As far as the voice actor, they sold the performance for me. There's a lot, like every character sounds unique. Before they even said who was speaking, I could already tell who it was or who they were talking about. There's a lot of inflection in it, so you really felt as if, they're really going through it. Final thoughts. Are we going to be doing a Geek Out stream? Yes, no, maybe. We have already done a Geek Out session on Ascend Online Book 1, so go out and get your copy today.